Massive meaty nachos in the shadow of Wrigley Field.
These are everything that a man needs. Potatoes, bacon, cheese.
Silky sweet ice cream sundaes near the Golden Gate.
You have the perfect creaminess of the ice cream on the warm brownie. There's nothing better.
And heavenly hot dogs beside mile-high mountains.
I gotta get in there.
There you go.
It's tasty, it's meaty, it's awesome.
You can work up an appetite when you're touring a new town, so we've got the lowdown on delicious destinations where you can find spectacular sights right next to fantastic food. You can't see the sights of the US of A without a visit to the nation's capital. And DC isn't just home to the halls of power, it also has an actual zoo. 2 million tourists flock to the National Zoo every year, and it's pandas.
And I can see panda.
After a panda party, the best place to eat is right across the street, though it's not quite all-American dining in DC.
Duke's Counter is an East London-inspired gastropub right here in Washington, D.C. East London historically was a really vibrant mix, and still is, of cuisines, of immigrants.
Every time I go, I'm tasting different things.
Duke's offers us colonists a long list of global flavors, like you'd find in East London, piled high on a jolly old sarnie. Which is what exactly?
That's the British term for sandwiches. One thing in common, they're all huge.
As in Buckingham Palace-sized huge? Like Duke's king-size take on the classic ham and cheese Cuban, the Torta Milanese Cubano.
This is not a traditional Cubano. We always like to twist things up on our menu.
How about twisting in some deep-fried chicken, Milanese style?
We start with a boneless, skinless chicken breast. We bread it with flour, egg, and coarse panko breadcrumbs.
It's deep-fried to a royal golden crisp. And here comes the crown.
To our fried chicken, we add 2 slices of our cured capicola. It's a cured ham, some spice, Jarlsberg cheese, a nice smooth cheese, just to make it a little bit like a traditional Cubano.
I'd eat that right now, but Jillian's just getting started. While the meat goes under heat, she carves out an awesome accompaniment.
We prepare our avocado mash with some lemon juice, some salt, touch of pepper. We leave a little chunkiness in there. We like to let the avocado hold up for itself.
With avocado applied to a crisp torta roll, this sarnie gets stacked. Onions and pickled jalapeno get a drizzle of mayo and mustard, matched on the flip side with lettuce and tomato. That melty meat and cheese medley goes right in the middle.
This is our Torta Milanese Cubano, and it's totally delicious.
My favorite part of the sandwich was, I think, the difference in textures between like the crispy chicken and the sauces.
The breading was so good. Very, very thick piece of meat on there.
It is like the monster of sandwiches. 2 kinds of meat, really good cheese, so I am definitely a fan.
I tasted a little bit of heat in the ham, and I have to say I really liked it.
You can beat that heat with a pint in this British pub, or just double down on another sarnie with twice the spice and twice the pork. Prepare for El Trasero, which means?
If I had to guess, I'd say it means the Trasero, but
Trasero means tushy or booty in Spanish.
There you go.
We make this with pork butt. We cook the pork butt in the oven for 6 hours with our salsa verde and a little bit of hot sauce as well. Look at that, so tender.
Jillian can't keep her hands off those bootylicious butts. And before you know it, the pork is pulled.
We like to put the pulled pork butt on the griddle to crisp it up. We add chili verde for a little extra spice to heat it up.
The spicy pork sizzles in sauce while Chef Jillian preps a bed of ciabatta bread drizzled with garlic aioli.
A little bit of rocket on the bottom for that peppery taste. Most Americans call it arugula. We add a celery fennel slaw. It gives the sandwich a little sweetness to kind of counterbalance the heat from the pork butt.
And you'll need it with this crispy pile of pork butt soaked in spicy chili verde. piled right between the bread.
It's definitely a lot of pork, but this is our El Trasero, and it's bootyful.
You could really taste that charred bits of pork that were on it. It's like dripping down your hands while you're eating it.
I was a little sweating after eating it a little bit. We'll be ordering the booty again.
With flavors from around the world, these UK subs in the US capital are making a splash on both sides of the pond. Just one suggestion, go to Duke's after you hit the zoo.
So much food, so much on your plate, it'll knock you out.
Book yourself a break in the Big Easy, New Orleans. And after late nights absorbing the sights of the French Quarter, tell Mardi Gras to move on over. Just blocks from beloved Bourbon Street, flip through Magazine Street's miles of historic mansions, and get a taste of local life.
I know Bourbon Street's fun, but Magazine Street is where the locals are.
Magazine Street is 6 miles long, so you could spend the day going up and down and check out all of the great architecture and the shops and the restaurants.
Feeling down after a night on the town? The street's also home to the Bayou's best morning meal any time of day. To lift you back over the rainbow at the Ruby Slipper.
Brunch is a really big deal here in the Big Easy.
Most people do the late night life, and so they don't get up early enough for just plain old breakfast.
That led the Ruby Slipper team to click their heels together and give their breakfast some color.
The heart of our menu is our Benedicts. We don't think you should wait for the weekend to eat a really fabulous and indulgent Benedict. So we serve thousands of Benedicts every week. People just love them.
For the best Benedicts stacked with Southern flair, take a tour of the towering Chicken St. Charles. Even its base gets a Louisiana lift.
Traditionally, Eggs Benedicts are going to be served on English muffins, but in the South, it's all about the biscuit, so that's what we do here. We've got flour here, we've got unsalted butter. It's really important that you work with cold ingredients. If you get things a little bit too warm, you're going to end up with kind of like a flat dough, ultimately. Buttermilk has a lot of acidity, and it's going to give us that kind of tang that you associate with classic country-style biscuits.
While the biscuits get bacon, fried chicken takes flight. Brett starts by dredging chicken in egg wash and seasoned flour.
We have a pretty heavy dose of cayenne, garlic powder, onion powder, a lot of black pepper, and a little bit of kosher salt. The oil's at 350. We usually cook these for about 6 or 8 minutes, just enough to get golden brown, crispy on the outside, and still juicy inside.
First the chicken, then the eggs.
I'm gonna gently swirl the water. Kind of helps the whites gather up around the egg. Eggs are typically going to need 3 to 6 minutes to poach. It's really important not to mess with them too much. It's hard to resist.
Be strong, Brett. Just get them on the plate. Or better yet, stack those buttermilk biscuits with crispy fried chicken and build a nice nest for those eggs.
You do want to try to find a little divot in your chicken because those eggs will roll off otherwise. So we're going to get our eggs out. They look great. You go straight on there. So for traditional Benedicts, you add a hollandaise sauce. So we decided we wanted to do something a little different. We're using a tasso cream sauce. Tasso is a traditional Cajun ham rubbed with a lot of spices, a lot of cayenne pepper, red pepper. We like to finish simply with a little bit of chives. This looks great. Our Chicken St. Charles, a sight to behold.
I mean, look at how big that biscuit is there. It's tremendous. I don't know if I can get this all in, but I'm gonna try. This biscuit is just, it's light, it's flaky.
The chicken is great. It's crispy on the outside, it's moist on the inside. It's cooked perfectly. I think I'll have to eat the whole thing.
You think you can?
I don't know, but I'm gonna try.
It is everything that is Southern right here on one plate.
Well, not quite everything's Southern. How about 2 dishes with New Orleans origins in one sugary sweet brunch masterpiece? The Bananas Foster Pan Perdue.
Bananas Foster is created here in New Orleans in the 1800s. It's a caramel sauce with bananas, rum, it's flambéed. We're mixing it with a classic dish called Pan Perdue, just similar to French toast, except that we're using leftover French bread. We're gonna start with our batter here for the French toast. Whole eggs that are whisked together with whole milk. A little bit of cinnamon, some vanilla extract, pretty traditional French toast flavors. This is classic New Orleans French bread, better known for po' boys, perhaps. We're just going to kind of give it a quick dip. With a little clarified butter on the grill. We're gonna go ahead and grill these off. It's cooked for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side.
How do you make fruit a little more fun? A swirl and buttered sugar is a pretty sweet start. Then, bust out the rum and let the flames start flying.
That's the one. That's a New Orleans flambé.
The flambé leaves the rich rum flavor, but burns off all the booze. Probably for the best for big, easy mornings.
It's dessert, it's breakfast. Who knows, who cares? The Bananas Foster Pan Perdue, you should try it.
It's crazy good. It's crispy while still being soft. It has a good balance between that rum sauce and still the sugar.
You've got to taste this. It's got a little sweetness, but it's not over the top sweet, so it's perfect.
For Southern brunches, both savory and sweet, the only road you need to follow is the one that leads to the Ruby Slipper.
New Orleans is known for good people and good food. I find that at the Ruby Slipper, and that's why I keep coming here. It's authentic New Orleans, and it just doesn't get better.
Cheers. While you're cruising through Boston's 400 years of history, cross the Charles River to Cambridge, Massachusetts. Then, find some parking for your smart car at the landmark Harvard Yard and Harvard Square.
Harvard Square is an awesome place to go and hang out for students, for tourists alike.
If you have Harvard University, you go and visit, there's plenty of walking tours. There's a few museums, libraries, archives. They have the historical trail.
But scholarly strolling calls for some serious brain food. And some of Beantown's best burgers sit right on the square at Tasty Burger. And amid this top-tier campus, one prestigious burger graduates with a dual master's in size and flavor. The Big Tasty.
We're making our Big Tasty Burger, by far our best-selling burger. 3rd-pound patties. We only press them once, and we only season them once. See how beautiful that is? So a nice crisp outer crispiness of the burger, nice and juicy inside. Perfect.
These New England patties are patriots, topped with some all-American cheese that melts into the meat.
We put all our buns on the burger wraps. Now we're gonna take our tasty sauce. It's got a zestiness to it with pickles, and it has ketchup and mayonnaise.
But there's no harm in adding more ketchup and mayo. They like their burgers dripping with flavor. And then all the classic burger fixins.
Take our cheeseburger, goes on top of the tasty sauce. Gonna carefully put our 2 halves together and pull it tight with the burger wrap. Our Big Tasty with our seasoned French fries. Absolutely the best burger in Boston.
This is the best part, is the first bite. Whatever the secret sauce is, which I don't know what it is, so delicious.
But the Big Tasty is what you would think of when you think of a classic cheeseburger. Fresh beef, fresh lettuce, tomato, and then the secret sauce. It's a whirlwind of flavors the entire time.
It's always done perfectly every time.
Now that class is over on the Tasty Burger, it's time to graduate to the next tasty sandwich, the Chicky Chicky Parm Parm.
Chicky Chicky Parm Parm.
What?
Chicky Chicky Parm Parm. Absolutely the best chicken parm out there. We start off with a fresh hand-cut chicken fillet. They're lightly breaded, seasoned. We're gonna drop it in canola oil. We cook it for 3 minutes, 350 degrees.
The crispy chicken is layered with marinara and 2 thick slices of mozzarella cheese.
And we're going under the cheese melter.
The piping hot cheese melts this into a masterpiece. But the star of this bad boy is even more mozz.
These are our fresh mozzarella pillows that have been lightly breaded with Italian seasonings and breadcrumbs. The ooey gooiness of the mozzarella is to die for.
The cheese pillows sleep atop the chicken, and with another spoonful of sauce, we've got a wicked good Boston beauty.
Now that's a chicken parm sandwich. Chicky Chicky Parm Parm.
Part of the reason why I ordered it, you get to say Chicky Chicky Parm Parm. Who wouldn't want to do that?
Good proportion of chicken, cheese, sauce, bread. Delicious.
For the tastiest burgers, grab a seat right off the square. Or wrap one up and get back to seeing the sights.
And I slowly unwrap as I'm eating my way back to Harvard Yard.
We're going from the square to the street.
Boom, boom, boom. You want these ribs in your mouth.
A parkside promenade where you can eat the best meat in Minneapolis.
Look, you can see the moisture on the chicken. How good is this? I'm gonna eat it.
When it comes to cities for sightseeing, every foodie marvels at Minneapolis. It's home to Nicollet Avenue, also known as Eat Street, a restaurant row stretching 17 blocks with something for every appetite. Way up on the north end, just blocks from Loring Park, is the perfect place to kick off an Eat Street food crawl, a restaurant renowned for serving a southern specialty, Market Barbecue.
We cook with wood, the old-fashioned way.
We've been family-owned for over 70 years. My grandfather started it. I'm third generation. I've grown up doing this my whole life, seeing it, living it, loving it.
And you have to be a little crazy to be in this business, and anyone that's ever been in it realizes that.
One dish customers are crazy about? The ribs and chicken.
Our pork spare ribs are 2 1/4 to 2.5 pounds. Everything that we do in that barbecue pit gets this basting sauce. It's more of a tangy than anything. These ribs are glorious. Glorious!
It takes two to tango on this tray. The ribs get a sidekick, chicken.
We're gonna do to these chickens exactly what we did to the ribs. Dip it in the basting sauce. Our chickens are basted, our ribs are basted. Now let's get them in the pit. This is where the meat magic happens in our over 70-year-old pit. Check it out. We have a 6x3 grate inside of this pit that's directly over wood. We really like oak wood here. We mix in some of the fruit woods like cherry and apple, imparts a nice light smoky flavor with a little bit of the fruit that we put in, adds a little sweet to it.
Before they go into the pit, the ribs and chicken get a little more pampering. They're sprinkled with an in-house spice blend.
This is a secret mixture, which I am absolutely not gonna tell you. Let's let them do their magic.
The magic takes just a couple of hours, turning the pit into a palace of meaty deliciousness. As the meat cooks, fat drips into the fire and creates a cloud of flavorful smoke around the ribs and chicken. A mouth-watering marriage of flavor between the fire, the fat, and the wood.
All right, let's take a look. Oh my God, these look so good. After doing this my whole life, I'm still excited to see these ribs. Boom, boom, boom. You want these ribs in your mouth. We're gonna stick these in the broiler. We put them in here to crisp up the skin, to dissolve a little bit more of that fat, and just give it that nice, crisp, awesome taste. Look at that bubble. Here's the chicken. The skin has gotten awesome. The juices are coming out. We've been doing treats on a tray for over 70 years, and this is why people keep coming back. Oh my God. If barbecue was art, this would be the Mona Lisa.
Oh, it's juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, perfectly seasoned.
And you can taste the wood flavor on it.
Oh my God. So good. Did you see how it was just falling apart as I was cutting it? Look, you can see the moisture on the chicken. How good is this? I'm gonna eat it.
Grab some extra napkins, because Market Barbecue plates up more than pork and poultry. There's also beef on a bun, the brisket sandwich.
For the brisket, we turn down the fire quite a bit lower, and we put these on a very low flame for about 12 to 14 hours. They've caramelized on the outside. They've gotten their famous bark. So excited. This brisket has waited its whole life to be a sandwich, and now here we go.
The brisket is sliced, and piece by piece, it's piled onto a soft toasted onion bun. The smoked meat is topped with sweet, soft caramelized onions.
We've put these in butter, reduced them down for hours, and it's an amazing match for our brisket. The butter plays well with the smokiness of the brisket and the char of the skin. The next layer is our classic barbecue sauce. Been the same for over 70 years. It has a nice smokiness to itself, and it really, really complements beef. Market Barbecue's brisket sandwich. We're showing those guys in the South that the North can do it too, baby.
I gotta have it right now.
This is the only barbecue spot you should eat at when you come to the Twin Cities.
I've been coming to Martha Barbecue now for about 40 years and never had a bad meal. So it was good then, it's good now, and I'm guessing it's going to be good tomorrow.
That's right.
A meal big enough for the Rocky Mountains.
Just go ahead and get in there.
Where an East Coast specialty
Listen for the snap!
meets Tex-Mex tastes.
This is a messy meal, but it's worth it.
If you've got an appetite for mountains of knowledge, hike to Denver, Colorado's 300-acre city park, home to the Museum of Nature and Science and a world-class zoo. And just 2 blocks away is a fine institution of East Coast-style eats, Steve's Snappin' Dogs.
I have started a craze for people that love good East Coast-style hot dogs.
Tourists in the park for Colorado culture can try a taste of a snappier state. That's because Steve imports 3,500 hot dogs a week to get his ideal feel and flavor.
I bring in hot dogs from New Jersey because I'm from Connecticut, and these are the hot dogs that I pretty much ate growing up as a kid. They're a combination of pork and beef in a natural casing. When you bite that hot dog, it snaps right into your mouth, and the juices flow from that combination of pork and beef.
This is exactly like a hot dog from back in New Jersey. It's perfect.
Everybody loves a good dog, and everybody loves a guy in a hot dog hat.
While the dogs themselves are best in show, Steve earns awards for the mountains of outrageous toppings he piles right on them. And he pushes his dogs into a whole new dimension with his deep-fried hot dog meets burrito hybrid, the Chimmy Dog. Steve starts with a split Jersey dog set to sizzle in piping hot butter. But this pig gets an unusual blanket.
We're not using a hot dog bun, we're using a flour tortilla. First goes on the Chimmy Dog is we put 3 tomatoes, and they nestle right next to the hot dog. Gotta have jalapenos in a Mexican chimmy. And the next thing we're gonna put on is sort of a mild salsa because we got the jalapenos in there. We put the bacon on there. Pork on pork, nothing wrong with that.
Huh. How about beef on beef? More Tex-Mex taste comes from his fiery beef chili con carne, topped with cheddar jack cheese and shredded lettuce. It's rolled up snug as an unheard-of hot dog stuffed burrito, but Steve's about to send it for a swim.
Okay, let's deep fry this Chimmy Dog.
The hot oil will turn the flour tortilla into a crunchy shell, and all that shredded cheese will melt inside. But it's not done yet. Time to load up some Tex-Mex toppings.
We're gonna smother this puppy with our green chili. Then we take our cheddar jack cheese. Everything's better with cheese. And then we take our sour cream and we put some of that on top. Look at that. Our Chimmy Dog is a crazy sight with a snappy bite.
There is no right or wrong way to eat this Chimmy Dog. Just go ahead and get in there. Just a good snap on the hot dog. It's crisp, it's fresh, and you can feel all the juice from the hot dog coming out as soon as you bite it. This is a messy meal, but it's worth it. Oops.
I gotta get in there.
There we go. I love Mexican food and I love hot dogs. You put them together, it's a Chimmy Dog.
Feeling a bit stuffed? City Park's Mile High Loop is the perfect path to work off that Chimmy Dog and get your buns hungry for more of a purebred bite. One loaded with Windy City toppings that'll blow you away. The Chicago Dog.
So it's dragged through the garden just like a Chicago dog, but it's Steve's style.
Steve's style is letting his plump Jersey dogs soak in liquefied butter. Why is that?
I cook my hot dogs on a flat top in butter because everything tastes better with butter. We put these on top of the hot dogs because it steams the bun from the inside out.
The Chicago Dog is dressed with some spicy mustard and fresh tomato slices. Then, Steve lays down the Chicago classics.
The next thing we do is we take our Chicago green relish. This is a sweet relish because that sweet relish really kind of goes with the hot dog. And we put diced red onions. And the next thing we do is we have these sport peppers, which are baby serrano peppers. These just have a little spice to it. The last thing we do is we take this beautiful dill pickle. We put that right on top, and my hot dog is ready to eat.
relish, the raw onion, the pickle, tomato, it just makes it all the flavors together just perfect.
It's a Chicago-style classic. If you've ever been to Chicago, it's very, very similar. So it's the Colorado Chicago dog.
Whenever you come to Denver, you gotta come to Steve's, because you know what? We're gonna make you feel like you're home.
The people that live here just love life. They're always out for a new adventure, and Steve's is definitely one that you have to stop in and try.
I love hot dogs.
Cheers!
From honky tonks to western wear, Nashville, Tennessee is the undisputed country music capital, with over 10 million tourists dancing down its South Broadway Strip each year.
Downtown Nashville, you get a great eclectic mix of different things. Obviously, it's Music City, so you have the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, you have the Ryman, you have Johnny Cash Museum.
And from there, you can walk the line right across the street to find the sweetest song in town at the Goo Goo Shop. Locals and tourists alike sing the praises of this trailblazing 100-year-old snack.
Goo Goo says it all when you're talking about a dessert.
I'd say I am Goo Goo for Goo Goo.
Love the name, love the whole candy.
Prior to Goo Goo Clusters, candy was a chocolate bar or caramels. And Howell Campbell in 1912 had the genius idea to combine different elements and create the first combination candy bar.
The peanuts, the chocolate, the caramel, the marshmallow. Goo Goo is wonderful.
While the Clusters have rocked a thriving solo career, they're best enjoyed when a whole band of confections comes together. And topping the charts is a stacked chorus of chocolate with the Clusters blended right inside. The Clark Street Cheesecake.
We wanted to highlight the original Goo Goo in a dessert, and the original Goo Goo is marshmallow nougat, caramel peanuts, and milk chocolate.
Sounds like we'll need a whole lot of sweets. But first, it starts with a smooth cheesecake base. Cream cheese mixed up with sugar, eggs, cream, and sour cream.
Makes it creamy, decadent, and delicious. The last ingredient we add to the cheesecake is the original Goo Goo cluster. After I fold in the Goo Goos, I'm gonna bake it in this handmade chocolate graham cracker crust.
It bakes in a bath of hot water for moist, even heat. And forget double platinum. This gold record goes quadruple chocolate, starting with a spread of creamy chocolate ganache.
Glue for the Goo Goo.
Next, chopped up Goo Goos, chocolate frosting, and then chocolate.
And this time it is dark chocolate, which this sounds silly, but it does cut the sweetness. It is kind of bitter. This is the Clark Street original cheesecake. It is almost as tall as my hair. It is rich, gooey, and absolutely delicious.
I love the cheesecake because they like to incorporate their Goo Goo clusters. You have a couple bites and you just don't want to stop. The chocolate, the caramel, everything in it is just so good.
The crust is really tender and crumbly, but then you've got this great smooth cream cheese cake, and it's all topped by a delicious chocolate layer of frosting, and I mean, it's so many good things all in one bite.
This shop is no one-hit wonder. For every Goo Goo cluster, there's a dessert to match.
My favorite Goo Goo is the peanut butter. I don't think you can beat the combination of chocolate and peanuts.
Well, if you can't beat them, join them together with a double-tiered peanut butter cake that's love at first bite. The 3rd Avenue Heartache. It's literally 2 cakes that come together in harmony, starting with the base track.
I'm starting with the chocolate cake layer. I've got butter and sugar and chocolate all melted together, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my eggs and my vanilla to it.
After a last shot of chocolate and cocoa powder, she mixes it all up and pours it in the pan. With cake 1 done, layer 2 gets going with a healthy amount of peanut butter folded with egg whites to fluff it up. After they bake side by side, the chocolate layer gets a super sweet seal.
What I'm doing here is creating a barrier for the massive amounts of peanut butter that I'm gonna put in the middle of this cake. This is peanut butter buttercream. It's peanut butter, butter, and vanilla extract.
She puts the second cake on the flip side, upside down, to make a flat surface for frosting. And the duet is completely coated with rich chocolate fudge frosting. Then topped, of course, with the star of the show.
I'm gonna go ahead and put peanut butter Goo Goos all over the top of it.
This is our 3rd Avenue Heartache Cake. It is rich and chocolatey and full of peanut butter, and I promise you, it will lift you up when you are down.
That was unbelievable. You can kind of dive into the middle and go right after the peanut butter. You can mix it together and have all 3 flavors at the same time. So I'm kind of torn. I like all 3, so it was a tough decision for me.
I mean, who doesn't love chocolate and peanut butter? It's such a great combination. You've got to have the 3rd Avenue Heartache. I mean, it's out of this world.
It may be in the capital of country, but no one's singing a sad song here.
You have to be here, you have to sample it and just enjoy.
With so many combos to try, you've got to ask yourself one question. What kind of goo-goo do you do? With skyscrapers, shoreline, and 2 ballparks, there's something for everyone to see in Chicago. And just down the street from the Chicago Cubs' historic Wrigley Field, you can line up a major league meal at the Irish Oak.
I come to the Irish Oak pretty much every time I come to a game at Wrigley.
2 things you can count on at the Oak: fun and great food.
Not exactly traditional, but just as good. Irish food.
That's good. So good.
The menu has all the elements of an Irish pub: corned beef, shepherd's pie, fish and chips, but keep your eyes open for curveballs.
Our menu at the Irish Oak is Irish with a sports bar flair. So we have a lot of fun with our food, but we don't take it overly serious.
While customers turn their glasses bottoms up, the Irish Oak's kitchen turns tradition upside down. Like bringing Tex-Mex to Tipperary with the double-layer Irish nachos. The house-made corned beef is brined and cured, then rubbed with a south-of-the-border spice.
I will only tell you 2 things in our seasoning, one which is chipotle pepper, a dried smoked jalapeno. The cinnamon gives it a nice mellow, earthy flavor. We're putting it in the oven, 500 degrees, get a nice sear on the outside.
After the oven, he adds a little Irishness.
We're gonna add a little Irish whiskey, because why not?
Top of the morning to you. The brisket sleeps it off in a 300-degree oven with some beef stock for about 3 hours.
Look how tender and juicy that is.
Instead of a tower of tortilla chips, these nachos are piled on beer-battered potato fries.
We're gonna lay a nice little layer down in the plate here. Second layer is our cheddar cheese. Layer 3 is our beer cheese. Can't have enough cheese on nachos. And then we're gonna go with our bacon. Never enough bacon. And the glorious corned beef. And then we're gonna go for layer 2.
Why 2 layers?
Why not? You want to broil it so all the cheeses get incorporated with each other and the fat from the corned beef gets drizzled down on the potatoes. These look perfect.
Perfection on a plate, finished with a squirt of sour cream and a sprinkling of scallions.
And our double layer Irish nachos, you just got oaked.
My personal favorite, I love the Irish nachos. Potato is awesome, sour cream, the cheese, the corned beef, everything.
I'm from a huge Irish neighborhood, so like I love corned beef, and this is probably like the best corned beef I've ever had.
These are everything that a man needs. Potatoes, bacon, cheese. Excellent. Crispy. Good. Very good.
Home run! But the nachos aren't the only meaty game in town. If your appetite's going extra innings, the Irish Oak's got a pie to please. Shepherd's pie.
Starting with onions, leeks, carrots, and we're gonna get those in and saute them down. We're gonna add our ground beef. Then we're gonna add a little bit of garlic to this. Our brown beef gravy.
Peas go in the pie, potatoes on top, and then cheddar cheese just to cover all the bases.
We're gonna place this in the broiler. That is some sexy shepherd's pie. Irish Oak shepherd pie. It's the gold at the end of the rainbow.
Shepherd's pie is awesome. It's one of my favorite meals, actually. The peas and carrots make it all come together really well.
Very creamy, and the beef is cooked perfectly, and the vegetables are
just as good.
All the textures actually do work very well together.
The Irish Oak is a great place to get a bite before the baseball game.
Come down to the Irish Oak for some great food, for some great friends, and for just an all-in-all great time.
Got room for dessert?
Wow.
Try this San Francisco sundae on for size.
The brownies are warm, the chocolate oozing out of there.
It's hard for me to talk because I really just want to eat this whole thing right now, okay?
Where the continent ends at the ocean, you'll find a foodie fantasy land of sweeping views, fog-draped streets, and creative chefs. San Francisco. And just blocks from Golden Gate Park, right near the hippie hangout of Haight-Ashbury, is an altar to ice cream made by the best soda jerks in town, the Ice Cream Bar.
Yeah. The Ice Cream Bar is a 1930s-style soda fountain. We make everything from scratch. We make all our own ice cream. We make our own root beer, all our own syrups. I wanted to create the most authentic soda fountain experience I could so that people who'd never heard of a soda jerk could enjoy it.
I don't think I've seen a single frown yet, mainly because everyone's stuffing their face with ice cream.
And also because Ice Cream Bar is an actual bar, it's not all kid stuff.
Then I saw the liquor, the liqueurs. That excited me. I like bars too, and ice cream.
For something kids of all ages can legally enjoy, might I recommend a concoction that's warm, cool, and creamy? The Brownie Sundae. In true ice cream bar style, it's all made from scratch, starting with double chocolate chunk brownies.
What makes our brownies unique for our brownie sundae is they're very fudgy, very dense. We start with the eggs. There's 11 eggs. Go in. Sugar. We let that whip until it's nice and thick. Get a lot of air into it.
That bowl is airy and light, and this is a chocolate dream. Two kinds of dark chocolate stirred together with sugar. The egg mixture is folded in to keep the batter light and airy, and then just enough flour to help bind the brownies. The brownies are baked, cut, and ready to be transformed into sundae decadence. Each time an order is placed, the brownies are warmed in the oven. Then, 2 giant scoops of ice cream are piled on top.
Mint chip is one of our most popular ice creams, so I'm going to start with that, and I'm also going to put strawberry. Once we have the ice cream on the top of the warm brownie, it starts to melt, it all kind of oozes together.
She tops that fudgy fusion with a caramel swirl, vanilla whipped cream, toasted pecans, and a cherry on top.
There's no better bite in San Francisco.
Wow. The fact that the brownies are warm, it just makes the chocolate, it feels like it's oozing out of there. It becomes very special.
It's a transcendental, out-of-body experience. I think it's the cherry with the chocolate, but maybe the underlying foundation of the brownie. It's hard for me to talk because I really just want to eat this whole thing right now, okay?
You have the perfect creaminess of the ice cream on the warm brownie. There's nothing better.
Nothing better? Tell that to the rest of the menu, like the 5-layer sky-high tower of ice cream insanity, the ice cream cake.
Ice cream cake is usually reserved for a special occasion like birthday, graduation, but I don't think that's enough. So here we serve it by the slice, every day's party. We use Morello cherry for the first layer of the cake. They're tart Morello cherries, which we put a tart cherry concentrate in it also. Very cherry. We also make the fudge from scratch.
That fudge is also an irresistibly sweet adhesive for toasted sliced almonds. And why not on a layer of velvety chocolate devil's food cake? She could stop there, or raise the ice cream bar even higher with a full layer of her in-house creation, caramelized honey ice cream. Now, more chocolate and more nuts make a cake to flip over. Juliet frosts it with a shell of tart cherry ice cream, then piles 3 more scoops of rich, sweet caramelized honey ice cream and more almonds on top.
It's starting to look like a party to me. This ice cream cake is definitely a sight worth seeing and eating in San Francisco.
Oh my God.
Brain freeze.
I'm a mouth freeze. It's so good. Everything an ice cream-aholic could ask for and more.
The cherry ice cream is beautiful. It's a little bit tart. The cake layer itself is almost like that real dark chocolate vibe. Not sour, but just like that nice, sharp cocoa taste. And then you get that caramelized honeycomb, each sort of flavor at the bottom, and it just brings it all together.
She's always willing to try new things, and there's always something new on the menu. You'll never get tired of coming here.
Next time I'll be at the bar with the liqueur. Why not?
Time to pack our bags and head for home. But next time you go out of town, after you see the sights, check out the cuisine and make some mouth-watering memories of your own.
Set your alarms and get those notebooks ready. We're taking you back to college. Only this time, you can major in cheese.
Can't go wrong with cheese. I mean, cheese on cheese is even better than regular cheese.
Or study the sandwich.
I wish I could eat this every day.
And who needs math when you could brush up on breakfast? Or crack the books on burgers.
Isn't that beautiful? Look at cheese.
So whether you're currently a student or just want to relive the glory days,
I've been coming since I was in college.
we've got a college town hangout fit to satisfy your every craving. With more than 10 colleges and universities within its borders, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is undoubtedly a college town. And when starved students feel the need for cheese, they head over to the Yard.
We have burgers, salads, we have brunch here on the weekends, but we really are known for our grilled cheese. That's what we sell the most of with our 28 different varieties. 29. What? 29. Is there? It's 29. I lose track of things.
I always stop in late night and grab a bite. It's my favorite spot.
I've been here, I guess, 3 or 4 times now, and every single time I get a different grilled cheese, and it's phenomenal.
We try to put everything and anything on a grilled cheese sandwich. If you can dream it, we can do it.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I'm counting mac and cheese instead of sheep. The Mac Attack will make all your dreams come true.
Mac Attack is a monster macaroni and cheese grilled cheese. Nearly all of our grilled cheese sandwiches start the same. With a thick-cut Texas toast, go ahead and soak this in a liquid butter. Straight to the flat top, where it's going to have a nice golden brown toast on the outside. It's exactly where I want it. We're gonna go ahead and take this off the flat top.
Each slice of bread is covered with a slice of cheddar cheese.
Next, we're gonna go ahead and take this and we're gonna put it into the convection oven. We find that it melts the cheese the fastest and the most even.
When the cheese is perfectly melted, Chris moves on to the mac portion of the Mac Attack.
We're gonna start with the mac sauce. That consists of Parmesan cheese, cheddar cheese, a little bit of heavy cream, and some cheese spread. We're gonna go ahead and ladle this right into the saute pan.
Chris adds cavatappi noodles to the cheese pool, along with even more cheddar cheese.
Next, we're gonna go ahead and add the Parm cheese. The Parm cheese, we give it a little bit of salty flavor to it.
He finishes the mac and cheese with crispy cubes of slab bacon.
This is making love to the mac and cheese right now in the saute pan. Once it's just the temperature, we're gonna go ahead and bring it over to the sandwich. We're gonna plate that up. Every single grilled cheese that we send out comes with a side of tomato soup. It's a perfect pairing for any grilled cheese.
Garlic Parmesan fries round out this holy trinity.
Here you have 2 of college's greatest dishes on 2 slices of bread, the Mac Attack.
Mac and cheese and grilled cheese is a pretty amazing combination, I would say.
I've had bacon in mac and cheese before, but I've never had it in a grilled cheese, let alone mac and cheese with bacon in a grilled cheese. My taste buds are on a trip right now. I pull apart my grilled cheese and then dip it into the tomato soup. So the mac and cheese is phenomenal with the tomato soup. What more could you want?
I don't know. Maybe some shredded chicken and a giant onion ring? Like on the Smack Yo Mama.
Smack Your Mama is the next level grilled cheese. We're gonna start with our roasted chicken here. We're gonna take about 6 ounces of this pulled chicken right onto the flat top with a little bit of oil here.
The chicken is tossed with a sweet and spicy Thai chili barbecue sauce. Then all that tangy goodness gets placed atop melted cheddar cheese on Texas toast.
This is not a small sandwich, but it's not done yet.
A whopper of an onion ring is placed atop the chicken.
This onion ring is gonna serve as a container for this beer cheese. It's gonna hold it in there until you take that first bite, which will then ooze all over the rest of the sandwich.
Whoa, beer cheese do go on.
Yeah. What we use in here is a lager. We have a cheese spread, Parmesan cheese, heavy cream, salt and pepper, and there's a couple other ingredients I cannot share with you.
You're breaking my heart, Chris.
We're gonna top this sandwich off, and it's gonna go with our house-made chips here. These chips are gonna get a Cajun seasoning on them, which is a huge fan favorite here at the yard. We're also gonna do a tomato soup on the side.
The sandwich is huge when it comes out. Definitely a sight to see. The beer cheese tastes like a nacho cheese, but better.
Right away, this beer cheese just kind of like explodes everywhere, almost like a volcano.
It's almost like there's like an egg in there, and you crack the egg right when you bite it. Came out the sides, came out the back. I never had anything like that before.
It's clearly not the grilled cheese like your grandma or mom would make for you.
The chicken is super moist, so it's really good on the sandwich with the cheese and the onion ring. It's fabulous.
It's just an overload of cheesiness.
I always wanted to open up a grilled cheese restaurant as a young child. I would always make grilled cheese for my friends.
You can't go wrong with cheese. I mean, cheese on cheese is even better than regular cheese. I think having a gourmet grilled cheese is the best idea. 10 out of 10.
It's one of those things that you can eat at 1 a.m. or 8 in the morning. Doesn't matter when you eat it, it's always gonna be delicious. A+ right there.
And finally, the student becomes the teacher. Sculpture gardens, art institutes, and museums dot the streets of Minneapolis. But closer to the University of Minnesota campus, those in the know get schooled in the culinary arts at Al's.
I'm Doug Grinna. I'm co-owner of Al's Breakfast.
And I'm Allison Kerwin, also co-owner.
And we make greasy gourmet breakfast and have a great time doing it. Everybody in town is talking about Al's.
Opened in 1950, Al's Breakfast is a Dinkytown institution.
I've been coming to Al's Diner since I was in college.
I graduated in 1995, and Al's Breakfast hasn't changed a bit.
I think it's a perfect college town spot.
And with its small size, only 14 seats at the counter, it makes college kids feel right at home.
This restaurant is about the size of a dorm room.
Al's has got to be the smallest restaurant I've ever been in, but it's got the best food.
Our menu is breakfast focused. We have a wide variety of scrambled eggs and omelets, as well as eggs Benedict.
But their signature egg dish is the Jose.
The college kids eat a lot of Jose's.
We make it by first making our hash browns. We once won an award for our hash browns.
The award-winning hash browns are cooked till golden and crispy on both sides.
I think it's time to poach eggs. We like to serve them with a really runny yolk. So when the customer gets this plate in front of them, they can cut into them and it oozes all over the plate.
Next, the hash browns get topped with a ladle of homemade salsa.
This salsa is amazing. It's pretty spicy. There's a fair amount of jalapeno and a little chipotle in there.
The poached eggs form the next layer.
And we're gonna cover this with sharp cheddar cheese, not skimpy on the cheese, a little water to steam it on top.
Once the cheese melts, breakfast is served.
The Jose is the ultimate college craving.
It's hot, it's cheesy, it's a little spicy, it's got a nice little peppery flavor to it, it's creamy, it's warm.
It's great. Homemade salsa, and the eggs are all poached perfectly.
I've had the hash browns here forever. They make them just perfect. Crispy on top, but nice and moist inside.
It's the best breakfast in town.
Flapjack lovers might disagree and suggest that you sit down with a stack of buttermilk blues.
Can't go wrong with our pancakes. Since 1950, this restaurant has always made its pancake batter from scratch. Homemade is always better.
The batter is a blend of eggs, buttermilk, flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, and baking soda.
Really basic recipe.
But things start getting interesting with the addition of melted butter
This will make the batter nice and rich.
and wild Maine blueberries.
The blueberries in here make them like no other pancake. They're small enough that there's many of them in every bite. Now we gotta get these guys on the griddle. When bubbles start to rise up a little bit and the pancake will start to firm up on this side, you can flip them over.
Once golden on both sides, they're plated and topped with butter.
Our buttermilk blues, a stack made with love.
I love blueberry pancakes. These are some of the best. And they got a good little tang to them.
You can really taste the blueberries in them. They're light and airy, and they've got a wonderful flavor.
We went out last night, and this is definitely the way to top off the weekend.
Blueberry pancakes are like the best pancakes I've ever had.
Anybody who doesn't come to Al's Breakfast is missing the greatest experience in Minneapolis. We have more fun in 15 minutes in here than most people have in a day.
Is that true, Allison?
Of course it's true. We're fun all the time, and it's the tastiest breakfast in town.
Looks like your customers agree. When it comes to catering to a college crowd, Cambridge, Massachusetts scores top marks. But when it comes to the best burgers for your buck, nobody beats Mr. Bartley's Burger Cottage in Harvard Square.
I definitely feel like this is an institution of Cambridge and of Harvard. Like, if I was a student here, I would definitely want to be in here all the time.
But just who is Mr. Bartley?
I have no idea who Mr. Bartley is, but whoever he is, whoever he was, he had a good idea.
I'm Mr. Bartley. My dad, the other Mr. Bartley, opened up the restaurant in 1960. It was a convenience store, and he quickly turned it into a restaurant because he needed to raise cash for his large family.
Everything you know today, I taught him. Don't tell him that much.
The biggest lesson?
My father instilled in our brains Mr. B's friend of the working man, meaning, price is reasonable and the portions are big. You're not gonna leave here hungry. Nobody leaves here hungry.
And one of the most filling offerings on the menu, the Crimson Burger.
It's got our mac and cheese on it, and there's nothing better than our mac and cheese. All right, to start, we're gonna make a roux. It's just simple, melted butter and flour. Now we're gonna whisk our little heart out here, making sure it doesn't stick or burn to the pan.
When the flour is incorporated into the butter, he whisks in some milk. Then, for a little heat, Bill adds a pinch of red pepper flakes.
It really gives it a nice little bite.
Next, a little cream and a lot of cheddar cheese.
It's wicked sharp. Now we've got our salt and pepper, just fresh ground pepper and salt. Slowly whisk it in. Oh my God, this is starting to look really good. Finish it off with a little Dijon mustard. Sauce is done. We're ready for the mac and cheese magic.
All that cheesy sauce is poured over elbow macaroni.
You can literally smell the creaminess. What does creaminess smell like? I don't know. We're just gonna go with it though, right? It sounded good when it came out.
It's sprinkled with more chopped cheddar, paprika, and chives. Then it's bake time.
All right, our mac and cheese is cooked. It's cooled. It's time to nail this Crimson Burger. We're gonna start with our 7-ounce patty. Gonna right on the hot top. We're gonna gently weight it to help sear in that flavor and make the cooking process just a little bit quicker so the burger stays juicy.
A square of the mac and cheese makes its way to the flat top, as well as some bacon.
Can't have a burger without bacon.
To heat things up, Bill adds a slice of ghost pepper jack cheese to the mac.
It is gonna make this unbelievable. It's like nothing you've had. Burger's done. Looks perfect. Time to put this together. Looks unbelievable.
You're telling me.
We're just gonna add some of our classic American French fries to it. There you go. This is our Crimson Burger. It's named after the Harvard colors. You eat this burger, you're gonna ace your day.
I wanted some really good mac and cheese, and I never even would think of having it on a burger, and this was really yummy.
The mac and cheese was just like this super thick mac and cheese, very cheesy, but it definitely gave the burger like a nice texture to it.
Oh, can't beat the burgers. They're absolutely great. And bacon on it is fantastic.
Crispy, delicious, outrageously good bacon, and very spicy mac and cheese. And it was to die for.
But heaven can wait, because there's another burger fit to fill you up. The Harvard Double.
Customers love our Harvard Double for 2 reasons. First of all, it's 2 of our burgers. And second of all, they get to choose whatever they want on it. Sky's the limit.
So I can get it with bacon, cheese, grilled peppers, and onions, and barbecue sauce?
Absolutely.
Sweet. Shall we start?
Tell me when. You say action?
Okay, and action.
We're gonna go right into it. 2 of our 7-ounce burgers. Put a nice weight on there to sear them up.
Bill also grills up the onions and peppers, as well as some bacon. Looking good, Bill. What's next?
Cheese goes directly in the grill so that we can get this burger off the grill when it's done to the exact temperature the customer ordered.
Medium rare, please. Now, let's see just how this burger stacks up.
Now we've got our barbecue sauce, some of our onions, some of our peppers, another burger, our grilled onions and our grilled peppers. Now we're just gonna need a forklift or use our legs, don't lift with your back.
It's finished off with a knife for support and a big old pile of crispy onion rings.
This is our famous Harvard Double Burger. We've been doing this for almost 60 years.
Burgers were very tender and juicy, and it had a really nice barbecue sauce on it that complemented the flavors of the peppers and onions well. Yeah, it was great.
Isn't that beautiful? Cheese.
It was definitely a messy experience, yeah. And I feel like whenever we have burgers, we like to get messy. We like to get in there and worry about our hands afterwards.
It's sensational, as you can see.
It's an absolute must to stop Mr. Barley's Farms for hamburger.
We like to say you haven't been to Boston unless you've been to Harvard Square, and you haven't been to Harvard Square unless you've been to Bartley's.
With more than 150 miles of trails within the city limits, Boulder, Colorado is a nature lover's paradise. And when heavy-duty hiking leads to a hearty appetite, locals head down the Flatirons and into the Buff.
The Buff is the best place to eat breakfast anywhere in the world.
It's also the best place to spot college students in their native habitat.
We go to CU Boulder. Yeah. I go to the University of Colorado. I go to the University of Colorado at Boulder, and I crave the Buff. The Buff has everything you could want. They have Mexican, they have traditional breakfast, they have skillets. I get something different every time I come.
The menu is cooked up by husband and wife team Jackie and Chris Meyer, whose dishes feature fresh and local ingredients.
And we have this little wand in the back called Love, and we sprinkle just a little bit of love on top of it.
And the dish that gets the most love? The saddlebag pancakes.
I'm quite sure at the Buff that we invented saddlebag pancakes, where you put the meat inside the pancake. We've been doing it for 23 years.
They're especially good because we use a special method to prepare them. We separate the egg whites and the egg yolks. We whip the egg whites into a meringue, and we add our dry mix, butter, and our buttermilk.
The other special twist with these pancakes? What's typically a side serving of sausage and bacon is moved front and center.
The beautiful golden color is exactly what we're looking for.
While the other side browns, Chris cooks up an egg topper, then plates it all together with butter and maple syrup.
We want sausage, pancake, eggs, syrup, and butter to all come together in one bite. Our saddlebag pancakes are everything you need to get up the trail this morning.
The pancakes are super fluffy and they're super delicious.
These are the best pancakes anywhere. I mean, where else can you get eggs mixed with sausage and bacon?
I saw this and I had to get it because I always wrap my pancakes in sausage. So I love the combination of sausage and pancakes. It's probably my favorite thing. I always like to eat them separate, but having them both, it's different, it's unique, and I'm enjoying it.
Everything works well together with a little bit of butter and syrup, and there's nothing more you can want.
Unless you need a little something sweet, in which case the pecan caramel quesadilla is for you.
It's the best way to start your breakfast with a cup of coffee or a latte.
We've got an 8-inch flour tortilla. We dip it in whipped eggs, get it coated really nicely. Then we put it in crushed graham cracker crumbs. The graham cracker crumbs give it like a crusty, crisp texture, almost like a bottom of a cheesecake. Once it's coated with the graham cracker crumbs, we take our streusel butter, which is cream cheese, butter, cinnamon, brown sugar, and pecans. We whip it until it turns a little bit lighter color, and then we take a generous helping and put it right inside.
Wait, did you say pecan or pecan?
Pecan. We call it pecan at the Buff.
The tortilla is folded over, and Chris pinches the edges to seal in all that buttery goodness.
All right, these are ready to be fried. These are golden brown, crispy, and delicious. Let's plate them up.
It's cut into quarters and served with vanilla yogurt, pecans, and a tap of powdered sugar.
And that is the pecan caramel quesadilla.
These are a little sweet, which is nice, and then that nice soft cream inside.
I mean, deep fried, covered in powdered sugar, you know, dripping with cinnamon filling. It's insane.
Crunchy on the outside, super, super sweet and delicious on the inside. It's like
Heaven in a bite.
heaven in a bite.
The Buff is like my absolute favorite place to go Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings. Like, you look forward to it Friday night. Like, when you go home, you're like, oh, go to the Buff in the morning. We love the Buff!
Freedom rings loud and clear in Philadelphia, especially when it comes to food. The restaurant choices are endless, but when you're a student, there can be only one.
Richie's is sort of the center of my universe. I'm like dead serious, like every day is lunch.
It's all made possible by a local legend.
I'm Richie. I'm the owner of Richie's, the sandwich shop. Richie's was started by my grandfather way back in the 50s. And it's comfort food that's available early mornings, late at night, to anyone that's on campus in the city of Philadelphia.
Richie's has invaded a college student's mind and said, what do these kids want to eat when they roll out of bed on Saturday morning? Or like, what do they need as a pick-me-up throughout the week? He knows what you need, and he's got it before you even know you need it.
Oh, bacon, bagel, bake your mouth, bacon breakfast. Here at Richie's, all you hear is me saying bacon, 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 egg and cheese, bacon, wrap, bacon, English muffin.
But students also fill up with a Philly favorite.
We sell cheesesteaks. We sell a lot of cheesesteaks.
The best seller? The mozzarella stick cheesesteak.
That's what everyone's loving this semester. It's a cheesesteak with a twist. With every mozzarella cheesesteak that we make, we have a sliced ribeye, cut thin, try to top it on the grill. We season it, some salt and pepper. Just chop it up. We want to get it nice and cooked.
Sauteed onions and peppers join the steak on the grill. Then comes the twist.
Guys, this is the best part. Cheesy mozzarella sticks. We just top it off with some marinara sauce. Then we come over, and we're gonna top all this with the peppers and onions steak. And we top it over now with some more cheese. You know it is, the more the better.
While the second layer of cheese melts in the oven, Richie gets some curly fries going.
Guys, the cheesesteak is legendary in Philadelphia, but with mozzarella sticks, some marinara sauce, you can only get that here at Richie's.
I feel like it's everything you want in a cheesesteak and more. You got the provolone and the steak, but once you get down towards the bottom of it, you're just hit with this mozzarella stick. With every bite, it just makes it even better in the sandwich. You take a bite, and sometimes you get like a little bit more of the sauce or the mozzarella stick or the steak, but it all comes together to have like a perfect flavor balance of just everything you could want.
It's mind-blowing. I'll put this right at the camera. Like, look at this. It's beautiful. I would marry this.
Putting a mozzarella stick in it is just like blowing the competition away.
And the competition ain't got nothing that can match Richie's Buffalo Chicken Cheesesteak.
There's no one on campus, there's no one in the city, there's no one on the planet that makes a buffalo chicken cheesesteak like we make. We start with fresh chicken breasts. We marinate it overnight. We use olive oil, and we season it with salt, pepper, and we use a chicken rub. You can smell this, a block whip.
After the chicken gets golden and delicious on both sides, it's chopped up.
We chop the chicken before we add the hot sauce to it, so you don't get your shirt dirty and your mom yells at me. You know, because I know my mom yells at me all the time.
A little, make that a lot of hot sauce, fires the chicken up.
Oh, the kids love it really spicy. We let it marinate, open it up, get it all good. We prepare our bread. We're using sliced American cheese with our buffalo. We add a little bit cheesy because what goes better than spicy? Cheesy. So as you see, we're just loading it up, nice and full.
After it's filled to the brim with chicken, another layer of cheese goes on. This time, the blue kind.
Then we'll put it in the toaster. We'll let it all melt together. And if you want some fries on the side, you just let me know.
Bro, you know I need them fries.
You got it. A little shake, a lot of love. A little shake again. And we get that steak out of the oven, get ready for lunch. Buffalo chicken cheesesteak. This is when you graduate. This is for the big dogs.
I mean, buffalo chicken wings, you gotta have a good, 30 to 50 of those to not be hungry anymore. But this buffalo chicken cheesesteak, it's all right there, packaged beautifully, covered in blue cheese.
It just looks so appetizing, and then when you bite into it and, cheese runs down your hands, it's really satisfying, and, I don't know how else to describe it other than phenomenal. It always hits the spot.
The kids love Richie's. They can walk in their pajamas to Richie's, but they can be half asleep, and I don't judge. I love them all, and I look out for them.
It's great food, and you don't have to be a college student to eat it.
I love Richie's. That's it. That's it. I'm obsessed. I'll always come back, even when I graduate.
Beyond the bright lights and star-studded streets of Hollywood, Los Angeles, California boasts a huge and hungry student population. And when primal urges hit undergrads, there's only one place to go. Caveman Kitchen.
College students come in droves. They love our food.
And we go every week, me and my friends right here. The student body really loves this place.
The varied menu has a little something for everyone.
If you want meat, you want chicken, you want burger, we got it.
But everything comes with a Latin twist.
We got Cuban, Mexican, and Central American dishes, a mishmash of different ethnic backgrounds.
Even Peruvian cuisine gets a shout-out with the lomo saltado.
The lomo saltado is something that everybody loves, especially college kids, because it's a hearty meal. It's a ribeye steak that's stir-fried with French fries and a few vegetables.
A pan is brought to high heat and coated with oil before marinated strips of steak are tossed in.
When you have high heat, you get that searing effect, and it produces really nice flavor on that steak. Then we add some tomatoes, beautiful red onions, and we throw the French fries in here. Let that cook. It'll be done almost at the same time.
While the fry magic goes down, the meat and veggies are tossed with a soy sauce blend.
That is delicious, right? Then we have au jus, which is a beef flavor.
When the fries are crispy, they get tossed right into the pan. Bet you didn't see that, Kevin.
Look at that. Doesn't that look great?
For sure. It's plated with a scoop of rice and a shower of fresh cilantro.
This is Caveman cooking at its best. Lomo saltado for you.
The flavor is really good. The meat is really tender.
It's really saucy, and I personally love the French fries because I'm a sucker for French fries.
It's a great combination, and then the rice really adds a lot of flavor. This is my third year here. I come a couple times a week, and this is the only thing I've ever gotten because it's so good.
Best version of meat and potatoes I have ever seen in my life.
For the best bird you've ever seen, order the popular rotisserie chicken.
We do almost 500 chickens a week.
These are beautiful, fresh chickens that we have. They're already marinated for at least 24 hours in our special marinade that has a little bit of wine, vinegar, and a lot of other secrets I can't tell you.
Wow, a caveman with secrets.
Once the chicken has this beautiful rub on it, we're ready to put on the skewers and then throw it in the rotisserie. Get a little workout right here. See those arms?
Which way's the beach, Wilson?
All right, let's take these babies to the rotisserie, okay? Ready for action. Let's load it up.
Then he brings the fire.
These chickens are gonna cook roughly an hour and a half. We're gonna get the aroma from this beautiful wood that we get from North California. They're gonna come out nice, crispy, moist inside, flavorful from the smoky wood. These birds are the bomb. So you can see how nice and well cooked they are. Nice, crispy skin, delicious. Oh, man. I think I did a good job today, all right? Nice, tender. And then we're gonna serve it with rice and beans, our black beans, Cuban style, and our specially cooked rice. This is our half chicken with rice and beans. Perfect comfort food with all the love you get at home.
The rotisserie chicken is perfect. It's smoked. It has this crisp layer over it.
It's very juicy.
Really good. Tasty.
I definitely think it makes it special is wood fire rotisserie. It's like kind of like that smoky flavor, and I think it's really good.
Yeah, the evidence is right here. I mean, it's that good.
We work with sign language, so a restaurant, and this is Spanish, so it's a good restaurant right here. Sometimes you just have to treat yourself to some good food. It's nothing like good food, good friends, and a good drink.
You gotta come down to Caveman Kitchen because everybody needs caveman in their life.
Cave woman, not a man.
We stand corrected. There's no shortage of hot clubs in Atlanta. But if you're into breakfast, there's only one spot to hit. And no dress code required.
Here at the Breakfast Club, you come down and you jump right out of your dorm, man, throw some flip-flops on and walk on down.
We're definitely a meeting place for all the college students in the surrounding area.
A meeting place and an eating place.
It's always packed, it's always got fun people here, and the food's top-notch.
In the menu, we have some southern staples like shrimp and grit, chicken and waffles, things that all people love out here in the Southeast.
It reminds me of home, like how my mom used to cook me breakfast for going to school.
She probably wasn't making peach cobbler French toast, though. And let me tell you, it's a slam dunk.
That's air basketball, in case you guys know what I was doing.
The magic is all in the peach compote.
And here we go. Butter first. That's gonna set the foundation for what we're doing.
He builds on that with cola and brown sugar.
What's happening is a whole bunch of caramelizing. That's gonna almost create like a syrup in the pan. Then we add the liquid from the peaches. Oh, look at that.
The syrup gets thickened with a slurry.
Slurry is cornstarch and water, but we do cornstarch and orange juice. Why? Because it's brunch. And now this is where the fun part comes in. What I have here is black pepper. I have some cloves, some cinnamon, some allspice, and this one right here. And we also have some vanilla extract.
After the mixture thickens, it's poured all over the peaches.
Look at that, man.
Oh, believe me, I am.
Now we just have to make the French toast part.
Anthony whisks eggs with a healthy dose of cinnamon, sugar, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. Really? Cayenne pepper?
That little kick of cayenne, that little thing in the back of the throat, you're like, what is that? I can't put my finger on it. And now a touch of whole milk.
Next, Texas toast gets dunked in the egg batter, then griddled on top of a mound of butter.
Look at that golden brown. You want to flip that? This is how we do it here in the South, man. Right here, we got perfect French toast.
How do you top perfection? With cobbler crumble and a sprinkle of powdered sugar.
Now in Atlanta, this is how we do French toast, man. All right.
When I thought of the idea of peach cobbler on French toast, there's no way I can pass that up.
This French toast is like so thick, and it's by far the best I've had.
Normally I do have like strawberry topping or, like whipped cream, but the fact that they put peaches on here and they're soft and sweet, it's a really great combination with French toast.
It's like, oh, this is a sweet, kind of decadent thing, but it's also like very loving and very gentle. I don't know, it's like a nice hug from the inside of your body out.
It's definitely incredible.
So good.
If you like to walk on the savory side, order the crispy fried chicken biscuit.
We have the best fried chicken here in Atlanta.
Oh, I agree.
Okay, so we all agree about the chicken. But what about the biscuits?
Here at Atlanta Breakfast Club, we have the most amazing biscuits. Main ingredient is love, patience, time. But we have flour, just a little butter in here, baking powder, baking soda, pinch of salt, just like Grandma used to make it.
Good as Grandma's. Cut it out.
All right, look at that. Now that they're all rolled out, my beautiful biscuits, it's time to go in the oven at about 325 for 20 minutes. That's it. So we'll take a peek at those in a second.
While the biscuits bake, it's on to the fried chicken.
What we do here at the Breakfast Club, we have our own special way to do our fried chicken, which is amazing, because I always say that. We soak it overnight in buttermilk, and that basically tenderizes the meat.
Next, the chicken is dredged in seasoned flour.
Once you have it nice and coated, give it one shake for good luck and go right in the fryer with it. Let's see what we got here. Look at that, man. That is amazing. You can see all the fresh herbs, the spices, it's aromatic. Man, can't wait.
All that crispy fried chicken tops a warm buttered biscuit.
What I have here is our signature black pepper gravy. Little chive on top, and there you have it. Beautiful chicken biscuit. Let's see, let's see. I've been waiting for this all morning.
I think your customers would agree.
Biscuit's moist, the chicken's moist. It just all comes together perfectly on one dish.
I've had a fried chicken biscuit before, but the chicken is just seasoned so well, and it just still melts in your mouth. It's delicious.
Pepper gravy, it's got a kick to it.
It's just like that cherry on top. It's fantastic.
I wish I could eat this every day.
Hey, who's stopping you?
Eat ABC in the ATL every single day of your life, as long as your parents are paying that tuition.
After a long day of classes, college students in the nation's capital head straight to the bar. The salsa bar, that is. At College Park's District Taco.
I love coming to District Taco after class for lunch.
As a college student, you're always looking for like the best deal. So coming here and being able to get good, cheap food is really beneficial.
And the salsa bar is great.
Of course, the salsa can only be as good as the dish it's served with. And it doesn't get better than the burrito mojado.
The burrito mojado is awesome.
And it's loaded with barbacoa.
Barbacoa is pulled beef, and it's very traditional.
It all starts with a killer marinade.
In Mexico, as you guys know, we cook with a lot of peppers. The first ingredient we're gonna use, the anahem, is very smoky because we grill it. Guajillo pepper is a dry pepper that is a little bit spicy. The next one is garlic. I love garlic.
He also adds charred onions, salt, pepper, oregano, and cilantro.
The cilantro gives a lot of freshness, and it's just awesome.
After the ingredients are blended with water, marinade meets meat.
You can smell it. It's very smoky. You're gonna let it sit. After that, we're gonna bake it for another 5 hours, and then we're gonna be ready to make a burrito mojado. The meat by now should be tender. Look at that. See how tender it is? Mmm. Delicious.
Hey, save some for the rest of us, would you?
It is time to build our burrito mojado with our barbacoa. We're gonna use our 12-inch flour tortilla. It's bigger, of course, and we wanna make sure that it's like a full meal.
Rice and black beans form the base for the burrito.
Then we're gonna put the barbacoa on top. You can see that it's juicy. Then we're gonna wrap it. And we're gonna put our secret salsa de chile. It's made with a lot of chiles that we have in the house. It's a little bit spicy.
To beat the heat, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and sour cream are layered on top.
This is the burrito mojado, the burrito of your dreams.
It's really good, it's really flavorful, and there's a lot going on inside.
It's got the really tasty barbacoa beef and the black beans and some cheese and everything a burrito should have.
The barbacoa is really juicy. It just flavors the rest of the ingredients too, which is what I like. I like when all the ingredients sing together.
I think my favorite part of the burrito, aside from the meat, is definitely the red sauce. It fills up your mouth and it's super warm and cozy. It makes you feel full, and it's a good time.
But fun can also be had with the popular shrimp tacos.
They're fresh, super satisfying, spicy, and smoky, you name it.
The base, of course, is shrimp, which are marinated in a mix of Anaheim peppers, chipotles, garlic, and fresh lime juice before they get a quick hit on the grill.
The beauty about cooking shrimp, they cook really fast, and we can make a lot of tacos really quick. It has a nice color, a little bit char on it, and they're ready to come out.
To build the tacos, corn tortillas are loaded with shrimp.
It just looks awesome, right?
Then they're topped with homemade cabbage slaw that's flavored with pico de gallo.
And then we're gonna put our cilantro mayo, and there you go. These are our famous shrimp tacos. They look amazing.
The shrimp has a great flavor. It's my go-to. I actually have Taco Tuesdays every Tuesday at 1 p.m. right before class starts.
You got that nice, soft tortilla shell on the outside, but then you got that crunch of the shrimp and slaw on the inside. It complements really nicely, I think.
The shrimp tacos were grilled perfectly, and the cilantro mayo sets it apart.
One of the things that we feel very proud at Desert Taco is that you can come in with under $10, you can have a big meal. And for students, it's very affordable.
After a long night of study, it's always good to have your stomach filled with just some good old Mexican cooking.
Amen. Class is done for the day. What more can we say? We had biscuits and gravy to just drive you crazy, dishes piled high with cheese, and big burgers to squeeze. And let's not forget, we had breakfast too. We're all about diversity here at Food Paradise U. Get ready to cozy up to some of the most feel-good foods around. Wrap yourself in a blanket of cheese.
Look how cheesy this sandwich is. It just pulls apart.
Or curl up with a corn dog.
It's not like a basic hot dog. It really isn't.
Spoon a shake or hug a hoagie.
I love Huggies so much, I have one actually tattooed right here on the back of my arm.
Maybe you'd like to tuck into some tots.
Is it wrong to call it food porn? I mean, I think that's a term for it nowadays.
You've entered the comfort zone. The traffic is legendary in LA, so the next time you find yourself craving comfort on the road, pull off the freeway and make a pit stop in Cypress at Mess Hall Canteen. Regulars and newcomers alike have fallen hard for the over-the-top eats of father and son team Don and Jake McPeck.
I've always wanted to work in a kitchen, and after Jake went through culinary school, we went together and opened up Mess Hall Canteen. Jake's in charge of the kitchen.
He's the talker. He'll sit and talk to everybody, and sometimes I have to be like, hey, come on, there's a line here. But I do love working with my dad.
As a Army corporal, Don wanted to both nod to his past and pay tribute to others who have served.
We give all past and present military members a nice discount, and we just appreciate being able to support and serve our veterans.
The military theme carries through to their menu, which features MREs.
In the military, MREs are meals ready to eat. So you get this envelope of food and everything's dehydrated. You gotta add water to it or heat it up. But for us, MREs are our loaded tots, our mac and cheese bowls. You take your meal ready to eat, we hand it to you out the window, and you're walking around with your food right there.
The highest ranking dish on their menu? The Drunken Sailor Tots.
All of our tots we call shareable entrees because it is a two-man team. Unless you're just really hungry and haven't eaten all day, then you can take one down.
This sea monster of a dish combines tots, seafood, and homemade mac and cheese.
For our mac and cheese, we use 4 different cheeses. You know, go big or go home.
Cheddar leads the brigade. A whopping 2 pounds of it gets added to a bechamel cream sauce.
If you're making mac and cheese, you have to have cheddar. For cheese too, we have our queso Oaxaca. It's like a Mexican string cheese when it gets the nice string cheese pull, you know what I mean? It's all about the cheese pull.
Cheese numero 3 is a shredded Swiss.
You get the nice saltiness with the Swiss. It kind of has a little funk to it, a little stinky cheese action. For our last cheese, we have shaved Parmesan. Isn't that so cheesy?
Cheese-tastic, bro.
Now that all of our cheese is incorporated, you can see it's all nice and oozy. Now we're ready for our noodles. These are our Celentini noodles. You have a nice little spiral to them, gives a little texture. So we're just gonna let this thicken up a little bit and we'll be ready for tots.
As the tots fry up, Jake places a bounty of shrimp, lobster, and crab onto the griddle with a touch of clarified butter.
Clarified butter, you can't go wrong with it in seafood. I mean, you get a lobster roll, what's the first thing you want to dip it in? Dip it in butter.
When the tots are extra crispy, they're topped with cheddar cheese sauce.
Make sure it goes all around. Now we're gonna get a scoop of our house-made mac and cheese. So it's cheese on top of cheese.
Next, Jake brings some bacon crumbles to the party and tops it all with the seafood combo and a Masago aioli.
Masago, it's a Kaplan roe, so usually a little orange caviar that gets on top of sushi, we blend it into the end of the sauce so you get a little salty, a little bit of briny on top of it. There you are, the Drunken Sailor Tots. You better be ready for them.
Seafood is fantastic. It's spicy and crisp and just delicious. I love seafood, and this is like the best seafood I've ever had in my life.
You get like the creaminess of the mac and cheese mixed with the seafood, and it's got a little bit of like spice to it. It's so good.
It's definitely extravagant. It's very tasty though. I used to be in the Navy and hang out with the Navy SEALs, and they would dive for lobster, fresh fish. They would cook it right there on the beach, and if I can't have the Navy SEALs cook for me, I'll take this.
Oh, it's the best drunken sailor I've ever had.
Should you prefer to keep it on dry land, the Major Beef Grilled Cheese might be more your thing.
The Major Beef Grilled Cheese is comfort food on steroids.
Let's make the best grilled cheese you'll ever have. Start with 2 thick cut pieces of Texas toast. We got our clarified butter right here. Give it a nice brush edge to edge. Drop her down to make sure everything gets nice golden brown for you.
While the toast is, toasting, Jake heats up some shredded hanger steak and seasons it with their salt, coriander, and garlic house blend.
Right now I'm gonna check our bread and see if it's ready for our first flip. Look at that. There we go.
The bread is completely covered in shredded cheddar cheese, including around the edges.
Now we're gonna add our barbecue sauce to our hanger steak. It's a Kansas City style barbecue sauce. It's a little molasses based, so it's a little thick and tangy, not too sweet.
Before meat can meet cheese, the bread is circled with a smoky chipotle sauce.
Now we're gonna add our hanger steak to our sauce side of the Major Beef. That's what makes it the Major. You got the cheese right here starting to bubble up and get golden brown. That's when you know your side's ready to flip over for you. Look at that. There you go, Major Beef Grilled Cheese.
Cheese! It just like explodes. I wasn't expecting all like the barbecue flavor.
And I love cheese, so perfect combo.
The beef is really juicy and tender. You can really taste the barbecue sauce, that it's good quality barbecue sauce. And the cheese is just dripping out the side, which who doesn't like that? You gotta try it.
This is the best part. That's what this is. It's crunchy cheddar cheese.
Couldn't get any better than this, honestly. It's got everything I love in it.
For comfort food that goes beyond basic training, line up at Mess Hall Canteen. Jewelers Row in Philadelphia might be the oldest diamond district in America, but there's more than one gem in this neighborhood, and it's just as brilliant.
If you want something really big, original, and delicious, by all means, Craftsman's the place to be. It's your diamond in the rough.
We grew up in the restaurant business.
It's just in our blood, and the hospitality goes another level with comfort food.
So as kids, we always wanted this type of food, and we couldn't have it all the time. And so now we can put great things on the menu that we want to eat.
And Mom's not saying no.
Craftsman's Saloon has done an awesome job of really making great shakes and burgers and sandwiches.
And the most comforting sandwich? The mozzarella stick grilled cheese.
We love grilled cheeses. We actually loved mozzarella sticks growing up, going to our dad's restaurant. So we said, you know what? Let's combine the two and make something really amazing.
So delicious.
We start with our mozzarella cheese, put them in a little bit of flour, then go into our egg wash to give a nice little bind afterward. Then we go into our...
Wait. I want to tell them. Then they go for a roll in crushed nacho cheese chips. Seriously? Why? How? Why?
Why? Why not? Why wouldn't you add cheese to more cheese? And we love taking comfort food to the next level.
I wish I could give you a hug right now.
And now we're ready to fry these babies up and make their grilled cheese.
George uses hearty country bread, which he grills in a generous amount of butter.
When you have a grilled cheese with Swiss cheese, American cheese, cheddar cheese, and nacho-encrusted mozzarella sticks, you gotta have hearty bread.
When the mozzarella sticks are fried to cheesy perfection, they're stacked atop the cheesy bread. Did I mention this is cheesy?
And now we're going to put this in a really hot oven and let it sizzle.
The cheese-on-cheese action is topped with marinara sauce. Sandwiched and served with seasoned fries.
It's some super awesome, delicious, gooey deliciousness.
I've never had a sandwich with mozzarella cheese sticks in it as the cheese part. It's like an explosion of flavors, spices, and cheese all in one, and it was pretty awesome.
It's just the perfect crunch, the perfect cheese smothering over it, and when you pull it apart, it just oozes and goozes.
It was totally different, and then they add the red sauce, which was like, okay, this is like a sort of macaroni and cheese with tomato sauce on top.
It's more than just a grilled cheese sandwich.
And for more than just a burger, order the Stallone. Stallone like Sly Stallone? Hey, have you guys seen the Rocky movies?
Well, of course, I watched all of the Rocky movies. I mean,
Yeah, who hasn't in Philadelphia?
Oh, right. Of course.
Rocky's synonymous with Philadelphia. We wanted to come up with a burger in his honor, so we created the Stallone Burger. We have the famous Italian meats with the American cheeseburger, and we create a meat lover's paradise.
Paradise starts with 2 grilled beef burgers.
Once we get a nice little sear, we flip them over.
Mortadella, capicola, black forest ham, and salami complete the lineup.
That combination is unbeatable. Now we take our bun, put it on the grill. We like the texture that it provides by toasting the bun. Now we take our provolone, and here we add our red pepper relish. A sin would be to add mayo to an Italian hoagie. Then we layer our burgers, add the meats on. And every burger needs to have fries. A burger without fries would be too lonely. The Stallone Burger, it's so good, it'll knock you out.
Stallone would definitely be proud of this burger. This is delicious. Very tasty, very juicy. You've got the Italian meats on top, and you know, the whole Rocky thing, South Philly, Italian markets, perfect burger for where we live.
Now this right here, how can you go wrong? It's a burger and a hoagie at the same time. It's like phenomenal.
Yes, yes, and they're hoagies. They're not a grinder, they're not a sub, it's a hoagie. It's a hoagie, but they put them both together. And with that spice, it's just, delicious. Delicious, yes.
It's the perfect comfort food that we were looking for.
The great thing about comfort food is it's not age specific. It's really gratifying to see everybody enjoying it.
And whether you're having a good day or bad day, comfort food just takes you to the place you want to go.
Always good food, good drinks, family, what else you need? It's Craftsman. It's a Philly thing.
Connected by more than 400 of them, Pittsburgh has definitely earned the moniker, the City of Bridges. But there's something that brings even more people together here: meatballs.
The people of Pittsburgh deserve incredible meatballs.
And in the suburb of Wexford, they can have them at Emporio.
I think meatballs are the quintessential comfort food.
The variety that Emporio has is better than any kind of other place I've been in.
You can have a pair of pork, beef, chicken, or even veggie balls served with one of 10 different sauces and sides.
Whether you want meatballs on spaghetti or whether you just want to eat many of them as a slider.
It's endless, you know, it's your creativity, ingredients that you like, different proteins that you like.
We are the meatball guys. This is the meatball king of Pittsburgh.
I think Messiah is a little better, huh? The Messiah of meatballs.
Donnie's most heavenly combination can be found in the Forget-A-Bowl-It.
It's one of our best sellers.
It's not your just spaghetti with red sauce and a couple meatballs on it.
It does, however, feature a classic beef meatball.
We use a blend here. It's a chuck, it's 80-20. We have some ribeye in there, some strip loin in there. Adds a little bit of extra fat for some moisture. Great flavor content in that.
Even more flavor gets added with a caramelized onion and roasted garlic puree. Then come the spices.
We have salt, pepper, dry basil, dry parsley, and we have dry breadcrumbs with a little Italian seasoning in there. This is gonna be a binder.
Milk and eggs round out the meatball. Then it's all hands on deck.
This is the fun part of mixing meatballs, getting in there and getting intimate with the food. We're ready to go. Scoop and roll. Break it. That was the remix, Jess. We're balling. We're gonna get them in the convection oven at 350. We'll put our timer on, we'll be ready to go.
While the meatballs bake, things get saucy.
We're gonna make a classic meat sauce.
Donnie puts a little bit of oil and a ton of meat into a sizzling hot pan.
It's not gonna be a thin meat sauce. It's a meaty meat sauce. It's comforting, it feels good when you eat it. You're filled up your stuff.
All that meat is complemented with onions and garlic.
It smells wonderful. I'm getting hungry myself.
But it's not feeding time yet. The sauce gets pumped up with even more herbs and spices, then a good amount of diced tomatoes and house-made marinara sauce.
We're just gonna stir it in, simmer it up. 20 minutes, we're ready to go.
Once the sauce is cooked, assembling the bowl is as easy as, forget about it.
we're gonna do here, we got our spaghetti going. Use a little bit of that pasta water in there so your pasta doesn't stick to the pan. Now the first layer we're gonna do is gonna be 2 different sauces here. Creamy Parmesan sauce. This is like our take on an Alfredo.
The spaghetti gets topped with meatballs and a ladle full of the homemade meat sauce.
Don't be cheap, you wanna be generous. Then we're gonna add our cheese blend here, a little bit of Parmesan, Pecorino, and a little bit of Asiago cheese.
A sprinkle of parsley, and this dish is done, man.
Or forget a bullet. Classic spaghetti and meatballs, jacked up.
Meat sauce on top of the meatballs is just about as hearty as it gets. And it's just a really cheesy version of your mom's spaghetti and meatballs.
The meatball itself, you don't even need the butter knife to cut through it. It just falls apart with the fork. And kind of reminds me of when me and Dad used to have meatballs with Grandma.
You got a classic bowl of spaghetti and meatballs here, but they put more meat on it and they added cheese. I mean, how could you hate that?
For those who want to branch out a little, order the Angry Birds Bowl.
The Angry Birds Bowl is just 2 comfort foods married together in perfect harmony.
And just what are those 2 comfort foods? Chicken meatballs that are seasoned with herbs and Parmesan cheese, then baked. And mac and cheese made with the creamiest sauce around.
Already in the pan we have started here, we have our roux, flour and butter, with just a touch of nutmeg. And you can smell that, the aroma coming up a little bit here. We'll get our milk in there.
When the sauce thickens, Donnie brings the cheese.
This is just a simple American cheese, just a great melting cheese. It's gonna get nice and creamy. At this point, we're just gonna buzz it up, make it nice and smooth. Ready for an Angry Birds. So we're gonna start off with our noodle selection here. We use a ditalini here.
Ditalini means little thimbles in Italian. You know, for little thumbs.
We have our ditalini in the pan here. We're just gonna go ahead and make the best macaroni and cheese that you can make. It's gonna coat the noodles up nicely. At this point, we're gonna marry it here with 2 wonderful chicken balls.
The balls get topped with yet another sauce, a ranch hot sauce blend nicknamed crack sauce.
We're gonna top it with our blue cheese crumbles, just a touch of parsley at the end. That's it. The Angry Birds Bowl. Mac and cheese, chicken meatballs, crack sauce. The best in Pittsburgh.
First, we got these little itty-bitty noodles that are perfectly soft and tender, smothered in the creamiest cheese you've ever had.
And then on top of that, you add the crack sauce. It goes really well with chicken, so it's like you're eating chicken wings with macaroni and cheese just kind of smothered together and mixed up. It's incredibly delicious.
This is beyond comfort food.
With dishes like these, Matthew and Donnie are gonna be rolling in the deep for years to come.
Amen.
In a quiet corner of Atlanta suburb, Avondale Estates, there's one eatery causing quite the hullabaloo. Ladies and gentlemen, step right up and enter Palookaville Fine Foods.
As soon as you walk in, you start looking all around.
And there's all these pictures everywhere.
Just everything in general that kind of brings back some old Americana feel. It's pretty nifty.
It's definitely like a carnival.
The carnival vibe is exactly what top dogs Jason Hilton and Mickle Tucker were hoping for.
So our idea is definitely to take people back to the comfort food they remember as a kid, being at a carnival or at a circus.
Which means a menu full of big top delights.
We offer a wide variety of stuff that's really good for you, lots of meaty fried foods. We also offer custom-made sodas and milkshakes.
But the main attraction here is the epic Freuenstein Monster.
The Freuenstein Monster is the ultimate corn dog experience. You'll never have one anywhere else done the way that we do it.
And if you think this corn dog is dipped in standard cornbread batter, you're barking up the wrong tree.
We have our cornbread batter, and what we're gonna do is turn it into our pepper batter. We're gonna start adding the spices. And we're gonna start with our red chili flakes. Next, we're gonna do the chili sauce. Brings that nice, smooth umph to the corn dog, and it also makes it the red color that you wanna see, because, I mean, red means spicy.
The batter gets another hit of spice from chopped jalapenos.
The jalapenos gives it that type of mellow spice of, I'm eating nachos, but not really eating nachos.
Last but not least, a handful of habaneros.
So now that we're done with the pepper batter, we are gonna go into the cheese batter. Nothing's more comforting than cheese.
Especially when it's piles of Parmesan.
And next, we got the cheddar cheese. You can't go wrong with the amount of cheese. The more, the better. Now that we got our batters finished, we're gonna get into the medley of meats. Here we have our beef frank, we have our Polish kielbasa, and we have our Italian sausage. It's kind of like a sampler. You get to try all three at once.
The meats are halved and placed on a skewer.
I mean, they go great together. It's kind of like the three Migos. Now, we're gonna dip it in the pepper batter. And as you're pulling it out, kind of spin it, and then we take it to the fryer. That's magic. And the key to making a perfect corn dog is just making sure you spin them. You also got to talk to it.
Can I try? Get along, little peppercorn doggies, get along.
Now that this one's ready, we're gonna do our double dip. We're gonna take our corn dog with the pepper batter and we're gonna dip it in cheese batter. It not only gives you a chance to try two batters at once, but you also get your bellies full, and I mean, that's a Southern thing.
After a second fry, the corn dog gets dressed with house-made sausage mustard.
It's alive. This is the Palookaville Frankenstein, and it's absolutely a monster.
Well, first of all, it's gigantic.
The batter on this is great because it has a crusty outside and then a fluffy inside.
It does have a little kick to it, but the corn batter has a sweetness to it. So it's a super balanced meal.
The double batter is the way to go. And the beef is like the best beef corn dog I've ever had. And then whenever you get the Italian sausage, it's just really rich and flavorful. And it's got like a really good herb flavor to it. And the kielbasa's to die for. You can't beat it.
Every bite is worthwhile.
When you come and eat at Palookaville, you leave walking a little slower. You may have unbuttoned your belt a little bit. You're happy. You want to come back as soon as you can.
From mountain climbs to transit lines, they don't horse around when it comes to fun in Denver. And in the Mile High City, you can begin every adventure with a little comfort at Jelly Cafe.
Nothing says comfort food like breakfast, and nothing says breakfast like jelly.
This is my favorite breakfast place in Denver. They've got great biscuits, great potatoes, really good pancakes.
And it's all served up with a side of kitsch.
Jelly's a homage to everything that was wonderful about Saturday morning breakfast when you were a kid. You know, I'm sitting in front of the cartoons, eating cereal.
But move over, cereal, because at Jelly, you can satisfy your sweet tooth with a variety of different donut bites.
They're fresh, they're always hot, and of course, the ultimate comfort food.
When we first opened, we were pretty slow getting our food out, and we were getting a lot of hangry customers.
Come again?
Hangry, hungry and angry. So we figured we could tide them over with some fried dough.
What's in your dough?
Flour, yeast, sugar, water. Nothing too special about it. It's not what your donut dough's made of, it's what you do with it.
And what do you do with it?
We're gonna pull them into little balls, roll them up, put them in the fryer. These are nice and golden brown. We're gonna pull them out, get them ready to fill.
The donut bites come in a variety of flavors, like Mexican chocolate, cinnamon sugar, and salted caramel. But Josh's favorite is something a little off the beaten path.
My favorite filling is the Thai peanut, peanut butter, powdered sugar, hot water. That's all it is.
The mixture gets piped into a piping hot donut bite, then topped with hot chili sauce.
You got your sweet, you got your spicy, all in one bite. Okay, we got our peanut butter. You can't have peanut butter without your jelly.
Finally! I was wondering when we were gonna get to the jelly.
We make all our jellies here at Jelly, obviously.
Obviously. For the donut bites, however, it's just about the raspberry jelly.
There we go. Our donut bites are little pieces of heaven.
I love donut bites because you can have more than one whole donut. You can try all the flavors, and they're so good.
Well, these donut bites are clearly bursting with awesomeness.
This is a Thai peanut donut bite. It's got a very interesting flavor profile, a little bit of sweet and spiciness to it.
It's very warm and comforting.
They're tiny. You can try one of each if you want, or you can double up on your favorites. You can do it however you want. It's kind of a personalized donut experience.
While people may show up to experience the donuts, they stay for the breakfast, especially the breakfast burrito.
Our breakfast burrito is one of our best sellers. Customers love it. It's the size of your head, and you see people with two expressions on their face, one of determination and one of defeat. We're gonna start with 3 eggs. We'll let that sit there for a minute, and we'll do our chorizo. It's like a Mexican spiced sausage, basically. We got our eggs, we got our chorizo, we need some more meat. This is our slow roasted pork. Takes us 17 hours to cook this. Low and slow, smear it with a dry rub, and when it comes out, it just falls apart. You don't even have to pull it. We're gonna put this on the grill so it gets nice and crispy on the edges. You got everything you need for breakfast right here. Okay, let's build this burrito.
A flour tortilla is layered with the scrambled eggs, some breakfast potatoes, and the chorizo.
And last but not least, that little ball, pulled pork. There we go, now time to roll this sucker up.
The burrito is smothered with a homemade green chili that's laden with even more pulled pork, then topped with shredded sharp cheddar.
That cheddar's gonna melt all over that and be nice and blankety. Got some pico, little green onions, and here we go. Hardest part of the day. If this falls off the burrito, it's 7 years bad luck. Bam. Here we go, breakfast burrito. Think you could finish that?
This breakfast burrito is large and in charge.
There's a lot of eggs in it, which I appreciate in a breakfast burrito because sometimes they just sort of skimp on that other places.
The pulled pork is my favorite part. It's so tender, it's just delicious. Nice and juicy.
It's just real homey and just delicious. Stuff on top, inside, it's really, really good.
Breakfast burrito has a lot of flavor and has a good bite, but not too spicy.
This burrito just warms my belly.
It's just the best.
When you come in a Jelly, just know we're gonna serve you the most ultimate comfort food. And on the way out, you might need a wheelbarrow just to get out the door. We'll take care of you.
Within the hustle and bustle of New York City, you can find all your favorite comfort foods. Pizza, pasta, donuts, and if it's burgers and shakes that give you the warm fuzzies, join diners from near and far and tap into a wellspring of whimsy right in Midtown.
Growing up, my fondest memories with my father, who also was a chef, was going to the local luncheonette, getting a cheeseburger deluxe and a milkshake. When you walk in here, it's comfort food all the way.
We came from New York.
I come from California.
We're from Stonehenge in Hampshire in the UK. We've made a beeline for this location and we're looking forward to the food.
The biggest buzz surrounds the Greg Norman burger. Hey, wait, isn't that a golfer from Down Under?
Greg Norman is the world-famous golfer. Why do we call it the Greg Norman? Because Greg Norman himself owns the ranch in Australia that produces this great, awesome quality Wagyu beef.
The beef is so great that it just needs a little salt and then it's onto the griddle.
We never grill our burgers, we only griddle our burgers. Big difference. Grill is for the backyard, griddle is for the restaurant. The burger is cooked for about 3 to 4 minutes, so it's time to flip it. Remember, folks, only flip once.
Once it's flipped, it's topped with a nice pile of crumbled blue cheese.
Blue cheese doesn't melt like other cheeses, so you can't cook it too long. You just want that heat to activate that funky flavor of the blue cheese.
While things get funky with the burger, Joe toasts up a soft potato bun.
Make sure you always toast your buns. Nothing worse than a cold, stale bun. We've got the burger on the bun, time to garnish it. First step, baby arugula. Gotta eat your veggies. A little apple cider vinaigrette, toss it. And instead of lettuce and tomato, the arugula gives a peppery punch that pairs perfectly with the blue cheese and that buttery Wagyu beef. Next up, it's time for the awesome sauce. This is our house-made buttermilk dill, right on top of the burger. Lots of it.
A hearty heap of fries on the side, and this burger is ready for tee-off.
That is the Greg Norman burger.
Now that's a burger.
The burger's lovely. I don't know what it is, but it's good. We're in the city, we just kind of wanted a good lunch, and this is everything you need, a burger. What can be more comfort food than that?
Best burger in Manhattan, tender, juicy, delicious. People wait a lifetime to eat a burger like this.
The burgers score big at Black Tap, but you really want to snuggle up to the shakes.
A burger and a milkshake is the ultimate comfort food, because let's face it, when you were a kid, that was your favorite meal.
And the most celebrated shake is the Cake Shake, which has an entire slice of cake on top of it.
Before Black Tap, there was limits to milkshakes. After Black Tap, there's no limit to milkshakes. Happy birthday.
The madness starts with a rainbow sprinkle cake.
It's that cake that your mom made for you all the time on your birthday.
It's iced with classic vanilla frosting.
So I've applied my frosting. I'm gonna put the other layer on top, and then we're gonna put a whole lot more frosting on top and get this whole thing covered with vanilla icing. And then after that, the fun comes into play.
Fun in the form of rainbow sprinkles.
We've got our cake made, and now, what's a shake without the shake? First off, we start with vanilla ice cream. 3 scoops right into a shaker, some milk, and then in order to make it a cake shake, we have to add some cake batter.
Wait, there's cake batter in the shake? I did not know that was gonna happen. Hang on. Okay, carry on.
You got it. We have all of our ingredients. We're gonna spin it.
But at Black Tap, the party isn't just on the inside of the glass.
Here at Black Tap, the trick to all of our shakes is the glue. The glue is more of that great frosting.
The rim is bedazzled with more sprinkles, and then it's time for the big finish.
A little bit of whipped cream, and here we go. We're gonna cut a nice, big, fat piece of rainbow sprinkle birthday cake. And guess where that cake is gonna go?
Right on top?
Here you go. Some more whipped cream, and guess how we finish it here at Black Tap? The cherry on top. A couple of straws, you're ready to go.
Oh my goodness, look at this thing. I wasn't really sure what to expect, and this was pretty fantastic.
I've never had a shake before that I've had to sit here and think about how I'm gonna attack it.
Don't really know how to go about eating it just yet.
There's no particular way to eat this shake or drink this shake. Sometimes you just gotta go head first.
When you bite into it, you definitely taste the cake is so moist, and it's just greeted by that cold ice cream. Then you get that crunch. There's so many sprinkles in here.
It's a whole decadent experience. It comes with cake. It feels like home.
The cake batter taste really reminds me of when I was a kid and my mom would make cake and let us lick the spoon. It's really good.
Burgers are great, but you have to get a shake at least. It's worth it. It's worth the walk. It's worth the train ride. It's amazing.
Pastry fans in East Boston, rejoice! Your ship has come in. Down on the harbor, a waterside eatery has been knocking it out of the park with their mouth-watering pies.
Cherry pie. Apple pie. Pizza pie. Shepherd's pie.
Nope, not those kind of pies. Owner Samuel Jackson, no relation to the actor,
No L.
has brought a comfort food favorite from his native Australia to Boston's shores.
I'd been here for 2 years, and I was getting into the 3rd year, and I thought, why isn't anyone doing meat pies? This is crazy. It's cold, rainy, and overcast for 6-7 months of the year, and meat pies are perfect for that. So I thought, stuff it, do it myself.
I can't believe that they've put this incredibly delicious dinner in a handheld form, and it's perfect every time.
And the most popular pie to wrap your hands around? One that has dual citizenship. The buffalo chicken macaroni and cheese pie.
We just thought that Americans love buffalo chicken and they love mac and cheese, and they seem to love our pies. So why not go 1, 2, 3, all in one, and let's go for it. We start off by bringing our milk to a boil to make the cheese sauce, and then we're gonna add some sharp cheddar cheese to that. And then we're gonna add a slurry to that, which is just cornstarch and water, just to thicken it up, season it up. Really simple stuff, but like all the classics, sometimes the simple's the best. And that's it, that's our cheese sauce ready to rock. We're good to mix that now with our macaroni, our buffalo chicken. We use chicken thighs, and then we chop them up and, of course, chuck them in more buffalo sauce because just like cheese, who doesn't want more buffalo sauce? And, of course, a little bit extra cheese. Good to go for the pie filling.
With the filling made, Samuel gets to stuff it.
This is the base of the pie tin. This is a short crust pastry that we make here at KO. It's rich, it's buttery, it's flaky, and now I'm gonna fill it with our chilled buffalo chicken mac and cheese filling.
The pies are topped with a puff pastry lid, then crimped closed.
Give it a cheeky little push, and the pies are made. Now we're gonna add panko breadcrumbs to the buffalo chicken mac and cheese pie. What's in this is butter, panko breadcrumbs, and a little bit of paprika. And so this gives it a little bit of crunch, a little bit of texture, a little bit of color, and of course, a little bit of flavor. These are now gonna go into a 350-degree oven until they're golden brown.
And in 30 minutes, it's all eyes on the pie.
The chicken is fantastic. It's cooked perfectly. It's a fantastic combination of cheese, noodles, chicken, the flaky crust.
And my kids devoured it. I loved all the crunchy panko on top and had just a nice amount of hint of spice from the buffalo, which was really good.
It's just so gooey, rich, got a great texture, and then you've got the
flaky golden dough on the outside. It's just a spectacular little pie. In fact, I might go up and get another one after we're done filming. So yeah, it's really good.
If you want to stick with something more classically Aussie, try the beef with cheese and go overboard by getting it floater style.
The beef and cheese is the cheeseburger of the Australian pie world. Americans love it, and the floater is everything that's right in the world on a plate.
But what's right about the pie is that it's filled with tons of beefy goodness.
We start with the shell crust pastry, and then we add shredded white cheddar cheese to the base. And we find when the pie cooks, the cheese actually melts up into the actual beef.
Now you're talking my language, Samuel.
Next up, we're going to add our cold classic beef pie filling. It's got ground beef, it's got onions, it's got tomato sauce, it's got beef gravy in it.
They're finished with a square of puff pastry and a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese, then baked. To make it float, the pie is topped with mashed potatoes, mushy peas, and a hearty beef gravy.
This is the KO pie floater. Comfort food, Aussie style, to the max.
The pie floater on the beef and cheese is amazing. It's got all this good gravy and mashed potatoes and just mixes all together.
It's a little bit of everything. So you have the meat and then you have the pastry. It's mixing a whole plate of things all in one bite.
When it comes to a good meat pie or a delicious floater, you can't beat this.
It's warm, it's tasty. There's something about it that makes you feel comforted, you know, it fills your belly.
A political town like Washington, D.C. is no stranger to controversy. And in the food scene, one local sandwich shop has sparked a massive debate.
Taylor Gourmet, we serve hoagies. No sandwiches, no subs, no grinders, hoagies.
Okay, maybe there's no debate. Philadelphia transplant founder Casey Patton wanted to bring some of the comforts of home to his adopted city.
I grew up eating hoagies. Hoagies are associated with everything that you do. A trip to the beach, graduating from a high school year. Everything you ended up doing, you grabbed a hoagie to do it.
At Taylor Gourmet, you can grab one of 20 different kinds, all cooked up by culinary director and hoagie superfan Jacob Hunter.
I love hoagies so much, I have one actually tattooed right here on the back of my arm.
Choosing a favorite hoagie would be like choosing a favorite child, but Jacob would pick the T. Harrison.
It's a meatball hoagie. There's an old Bill Murray movie called Meatballs. His character's name was Tripper Harrison, so I kind of like to have a fun spin on certain hoagie names.
But the star here is the meatball, which is made from 100% ground beef.
And then we're gonna add caramelized onions. Gives a little bit of sweetness to the meatball.
The meatballs also get flavored with chopped garlic and fresh herbs.
Next thing we're gonna add is a little bit of egg and some panko breadcrumbs. This is just gonna help bind it. We mix this with some chili flake to give it a little bit of kick and pop.
A little salt and pepper, and these meatballs are ready to roll. Jacob throws the meatballs in the oven, and when they come out, it's pretty exciting.
Oh, look at these hot, steamy meatballs. Is that what you wanted?
I guess so.
It's time to build our T. Harrison. We're gonna start with our bread. It's a seeded roll, kind of the nod to the Philadelphia style hoagie roll. We split it open, and then we're gonna layer it with some sweet provolone cheese.
Next, he layers on banana peppers, the meatballs, and some house-made marinara.
Put just enough on there to get messy.
Fresh basil and crispy fried onions top off the sandwich, hoagie.
And this is our T. Harrison meatball hoagie with our homemade meatballs.
The meatball sandwich reminds me of my Italian grandfather's meatballs with the homemade marinara sauce and the melted cheese, and just embodies comfort food.
They definitely have some spice that they're working in there. I'm a guy that likes spice, so that really brought out that flavor.
This one, the meatballs are solid and it tastes great.
We give it 4 thumbs up.
You can also wrap your thumbs around a turkey hoagie, aptly named the Colonial.
Colonial brings me back to the day after Thanksgiving when you're putting together leftovers and throwing it in between some bread.
And a big part of Thanksgiving leftovers, potatoes, which for the colonial take the form of a sweet potato, sage, and ricotta spread sweetened with honey.
We're gonna take our Italian seeded hoagie roll, we split it open, we take our sweet potato and sage ricotta.
Whoa, just how much are you gonna use, Jacob?
A lot.
Freshly sliced herb roasted turkey is piled on top.
Next, we're gonna drizzle on our house-made cranberry ginger sauce. It's a little bit of cranberry, ginger, and orange.
Thick slices of brie cheese and garlicky kale complete this Thanksgiving mashup.
You had the cranberry in the bottom, then the cheese spread, and then the potatoes, and then the turkey, and then on top it was kind of a nice like pillow of kale. Definitely really appealing.
The turkey breast, they make it in-house. It's the best thing I think that they have.
The colonial is like Thanksgiving to me. It makes me think of my family. So there's always something to appeal to your mood.
Oh, it's just a whole bunch of deliciousness. So that's the best way I can describe it.
This place stands out amongst anywhere else in DC. No one else has these specialty hoagies.
You don't feel like you're eating in your typical deli, and the hoagies that we give you aren't the typical hoagies that you can expect.
Taylor always knocks it out of the park.
We've hit all your favorite foods under the sun. Wasn't that spooky corn dog fun? We had pasta and pies, and yep, everything fried. But you can't get cozy without cheese. And on a burger, yes please. And who could forget that big pile of tots? I think it's safe to say we hit the comfort jackpot.